Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and if you are new here, welcome to my YouTube channel. And for those of you who subscribed, I really appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much for subscribing and interacting with me in the comments. Please continue doing that. And if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe and be part of this. Yeah, I will really appreciate it. So it's actually free to subscribe, you know. Yeah, so in my third video, I was talking about my career, how to make it, pros and cons whatsoever, and I was able to pick up the fact that for you to actually open many doors for yourself and have different options in the field, you need to do your postgraduate, which in my field is actually your master's, because your degree goes with an honors. And outside the video, when I was talking to people, I figured that doing a master's degree is quite a challenge, and yeah, people are complaining about a number of years and everything. So in this video, I'm not gonna dwell so much on why you should do it, but I'm going to talk to people who want to do it and people who are thinking about it. If you're thinking about doing a postgraduate in any field, then I feel this is the video for you to watch, because I'm discussing about how to make it and make it on record time, because also the benefits of making it in time. So first things first, agree with your mind and your body and your spirit and everything that's in you that you want to do this, and you're gonna give it time. So that is the first point. I know that it's very obvious and you feel like, but don't feel ambushed to doing your postgraduate. If you are done with your undergraduate and you feel like you need to go and work and do other things and think about it, do that. I mean, you don't want to do masters when you don't want to do it. Do that. I actually jumped from my degree to doing a master's because I was already ready for that. I had decided even the year before that I want to do my master's before I actually even do any other thing. So it was much more simpler for me. But if you feel you want to think about it first, prepare yourself. I feel I prepared myself during my final year when I was doing my undergrad. My last year of my honors degree rather. So I prepared myself. Then that is first things first, easy as that. If you feel no, you want to take a gap break, take it, but don't take it forever. Don't. And even when you're on your gap break, think about the fact that you want to go back or not. Yeah. So that's the first point. And the second point, when you are preparing yourself, think about the supervisor. When I was doing my final year, I was doing an honors degree. Obviously, it comes with research. I did research and I had a supervisor. It was good. We finished that and all that. But I was also thinking about my masters, because when it comes to your masters, it's much more of your responsibility. You get to choose your supervisor. You get to choose who you want to work with. And that is the most important thing ever. You make a mistake with this one, then you're not gonna win, I'm telling you. So you need to think about the supervisor, approach that person, and make sure that you guys, your goals align with the person. What type of a supervisor should you choose if you want to do a postgraduate, if you want to do research? Okay, these are my points. You need someone who's not too busy for you. Literally, you don't need someone who's way too busy. Because, guys, from my experience, the reason why I chose the person I did my postgraduate with is because this person was way too busy. Well, not way too busy for me, but they were busy. They are researchers, they are academics, they're busy, but they're never busy for their students. So when you need the person, or if you set an appointment with the person, you're gonna find them. So you need that type of a person, because research is time-based. So you get someone who's busy, who has some commitments. Maybe this person is so much engaged with university things, attending whatever conferences, whatever. They have a lot of seats within their campus and they have other priorities. I know people feel like maybe when I'm talking about this, it sounds like I need all the attention to myself. But no, I don't. But you don't need someone who's extra busy that they don't have time for you, because you end up not getting time for appointments or consultations or anything, or you might meet something and you might not get it in time. So you don't need someone who's way too busy. Point number 2. In universities, we know that there are older and young people, and there are people just in between. And that I'm referring to professors and doctors and whatsoever. So what I'm trying to say with this is, my point says, do not go for someone who's too old school. By too old school, I mean by the fact that this person does not interact on a phone, rather, or it's hard to get them over a cell phone, or it's hard to get them on WhatsApp, or it's even hard to go to talk to them unless you go to their office, you know, or that person who replies emails after, I don't know, the longest. You need someone who goes with the times. Yeah, who goes with the times. I'm gonna brag now and talk about how cool my supervisor was, because when I needed him, I would text on WhatsApp. We had a good professional relationship that I can text him on WhatsApp and say, can I come to your office? This is what I'm having. This is the struggle that I'm having. Can we discuss about this later? And then he responds. Sometimes he would send me a text to say, go to this website, get these articles, read them, tell me what you think about them. This is the person you need in your life. You need as your supervisor. You do not need someone who waits for you to send an email that is so formal, because now you're going to spend the rest of your postgraduate time writing a proper email while you are supposed to actually write the work. So you need someone who's easy to access, easy to talk to. You can get someone who's not old school, so that they understand even the way you feel about things as a young person, because I feel now I'm speaking with younger people who want to work with, so my advice is, don't go for the oldest professor in your campus and expect them to work as fast as you. So also another tricky thing, this person is not supposed to be old school and is not supposed to be too busy for you, but also they must have a good research background. What do I mean about this? It's crazy, right? It feels like it doesn't make sense, but it does. My supervisor had all these points that I'm explaining. A research background is, you don't want to go for someone because they are younger, they can talk to you and they can interact with you, but you check their research background, they're just too new in the game and they don't really write much or publish much. You're gonna struggle. So you need someone who enjoys writing, who enjoys reading, who enjoys research. So their research background, find them there at ResearchGate, check their info, the background, and how much research they have and the field that they actually focused on. So go check if the person has a good research background, and then if they do, 1 point down. This other point about you're a good supervisor, a person who's easy to talk to. Yeah, you might find that the person is not old school, but it's not easy to talk to too. You're scared of this person. So create a good relationship where you guys are able to talk without being scared of each other, because now your life's gonna be easy. And one last thing again is talk to the person, guys. Talk to the person before you register. I actually spoke with my supervisor the year before when I was still doing my final year and I was completing my research and everything there. So I spoke with this person, and actually it was after class, and I was also in one of his classes. And yeah, so after that lecture, I think we were discussing something else, and then I also said, no, I brought up the topic to say, I already decided that I want to do my postgraduate, and if I do it, I don't know if I'm gonna do it in this institution or what, but I want you to, if it's not in this institution, I would like you to co-supervise, because you can't be the main supervisor and all that, you know. So I'd like you to co-supervise my work, but if I'm still here, I would like you to be my supervisor and all that. So the person was like, okay, cool, I like you, are my student, and I know you are a hard worker, you can do it. And I was like, yes, good. So I spoke with him before. So when I was registering, the reason why I'm saying this is very important is because when you're registering, you might find that the person is not even in campus, and there's stuff that they're supposed to sign and all that. So if you've spoken to the person you guys have already discussed, my supervisor at that time, I think it was in Nigeria or something like that. So I was able to just get him on the call, and he's like, okay, I approve. He sent me his signature and everything. Then we were able to, like, my registration was not even delayed. So you need to talk to the person before you actually even register. Don't register and then start thinking about the supervisor, because after that you might find that supervisors already have students, and someone will be saying, I already have enough students, I can't take one more, you know, and then now you have to settle for anyone. You don't want to do that. Secure yourself. So that was the first point, guys. That was the first point on how to prepare yourself for your research and your postgrad. Get a supervisor. That person is very important. Super important. And the other thing is, when you're preparing yourself, obviously January, when you just registered, or the year before, if you are someone who likes to prepare a topic that aligns with what your supervisor likes. I'm not saying that be your supervisor's puppet or do whatever that your supervisor wants you to do or whatsoever, but do a topic that is interesting to your supervisor. Why am I saying this? You don't want your supervisor to get bored when he's reading your work. You want this person to be happy about your work so that they can help you. So these people are very important. I had a supervisor and a co-supervisor, like both of them. I first, like, when I was preparing myself to get a topic, I went back to their history research or whatsoever, the publications. They had a lot. My co was like, had a lot. He's older and all that. He had a lot. But my main also had a lot, but he was younger and it was more easy to talk to, like, it was my main supervisor. So go there, ask them their interests, and come up with a study that relates to what they understand mostly. You don't want them to feel like they are doing work with you or work for you. Make them feel like they're reviewing your work and they're assisting you. And that will be nicer if it's something they can relate to. It doesn't have to be the whole study about what they did, but something that relates to them, something that interests them. Also, have discussions with them and talk about what they would have liked to study once in a while or whatsoever. That could help. Some have fields that they would have wanted to tackle, but they never got the chance to do that because they've been busy with other things. So if you're there, you're like, and to be honest, I'm gonna be honest with you here, it's hard to get a topic. So, and if you already are ready and you know what you're gonna write about, kudos, that's good for you. But if you don't, align yourself with the supervisor. So you don't want them to be bored of your work and then end up being not interested, and then when you are submitting your work, they will only focus on the grammar and the structure if it's not interesting. But if it's interesting for them, guys, I'm telling you, they're gonna help you to bring out the best in you, and that is their job. They're gonna do it if you are doing what they are interested in. And then point number 3, we're done talking about supervisors and everything. This one says, do a doable study. Primary or secondary data doesn't matter, but do something that is so doable. It's crazy out there. We come up with crazy topics. I remember when I was doing my undergrad, I went to my supervisor with many topics, like every week until the end of March, because I actually started writing in April when I was doing my final year. They're crazy topics that you might find, but do something that's doable. Do something that you know that you're going to be able to access the data. I mostly advise people to do research on primary data, because primary data is not filtered. Primary data, you collected it yourself and you know where you're going to collect it. But if it's harder, you can do a study on secondary data. But we all know in research that study on secondary data, you don't know how the data you used is filtered by the first people who collected it and whatsoever. So it might kind of make your study not the way you wanted it, but it's still good. I'm not saying it's not good to use secondary data. It's very, very good. But yeah, do a doable study. All the data are important and they're doable, but the easier one is like the primary one for me. But if you're like me, you would want to carry out your research, go to the field, collect the data, interpret it the way you found it, as raw as it is. And yeah, but you can use secondary data. You can get it from people who have collected it, the way they collected it, because with secondary, another problem could be the fact that when you the questions, especially if you're doing qualitative research, the people may not have asked the questions that you wanted. But when you're doing when you're using primary data and it's a qualitative study, you get to have that option for your respondents to actually just feel free and speak, not based on the question that you have restricted them to answer. So it helps. But here, I'm not talking about data and whatsoever. I'm talking about a study that's doable. Do something that's doable. Data that's accessible. I know we are thinking out of the box sometimes, but don't be too crazy about it. That now you have this study that's so stressful or that's so crazy and it's not doable, and then now you have to keep changing your topics throughout. So think about it when you're preparing a proposal. Think about how you're going to carry out your methodology, and if this study is actually doable, then boom, you will win. And number 4, literature review is chapter 2, but don't start without doing a bit of literature review. Yes, that's the point that I put down. So when you're writing your proposal, we know that literature review is number 2. It's chapter 2 actually. And the first chapter, you have to focus on the background, objectives, goals, whatsoever. So, but you don't just want to wake up and start writing. We know it's chapter 2, but what are you gonna do? You have to read, do literature review, do your raw literature review, find out what other researchers are writing about, to avoid doing something that's already been done and literature that or carry out a study that does not have literature, because you're gonna struggle. They want literature review. It's not like this. One crazy thing about research is it's not like you academic research or the research that you have to do for your masters and whatsoever. It's not like you being free out of academics and just carrying out a study and writing out your findings. You need to find literature to base your points on. So for you to be relevant, go read literature first, find loopholes, and then create your study. We know it's chapter 2, but do literature before you even write your topic, your title, I mean. Yeah. So when you're preparing your concept note and everything, start with literature. Take maybe a day or 2. Just reading, not writing anything. Reading, taking down notes maybe. Reading, just taking down points and putting down points of interest. And then from there, okay, you're good to go. Then you can choose your topic by seeing all the loopholes that other authors have left. I mean, it can even help you to even come up with the study. I'm telling you. So the last point for today, because I'm gonna end with this one on this video, is present your proposal on time. Early. Why? Because postgrad is based on time. You want to make this video is about making it or nailing your master's degree on record time. So you need to present your proposal in time. Also, this is not just for you to finish. It's for you to get the panel's points as early as possible. Like, you need that advice from the panel. You need those critics. You need them. I know you have your supervisor, your co-supervisor, or maybe even also your friend who reads. But that panel is important. They're gonna sit there, you present to study, and they'll come with all the sort of advices, critiques, and everything. Some may be rude, but you need to do that in time so that you can direct your study in the right direction. But presenting on the last day of proposal presentations, it's crazy. They're gonna come with advices, and you won't have time to think about other advices because you're pushing to start writing. Then you don't have time for critics. I mean, so immediately when the university puts down the calendar to say that these are the dates for presenting your proposals, this will be the first week for school, for the department, and then the school and whatsoever. Look at those dates. Target the first date. It's important. Target that first date. Even if you don't make it on that first date and they don't approve your proposal, you have taken out the critics, the points. Those points and critics are very important for you to build a proper study. So yes, if you make it good, that's nice. It's very, very nice. I presented like on the third, was it the third? No, on the second date, because there were like 2 dates. And then the first one I couldn't make it because it was test week and it was more crazier because I was also doing coursework. But the second one, I made it. It was during before there's exams, there's that week, they call it study week. It was during that time, so I was like, okay, let me just go present this thing and hear what the panel says. And you know what, they approved my study, and I was happy because now my study is approved. I'm writing my exams. Just after writing my exams, I'm gonna finish my proposal, move forward, you see. So I went there with the attitude of saying, I'm just giving it a chance because the day is open, the panel is ready, let me just go present. And then when I went there, they were happy with my study and good. My supervisor wasn't even there. I think he was invigilating somewhere, but he was like, no, I think you are ready. I presented to him in his office and he's like, go. I was like, okay. Then I went. There was no one to even defend me or whatsoever. But by me just taking that day and presenting, even if people felt like it's too early, I gave myself an opportunity to actually make it in time. So present early. Even if you don't make it on the first date, then the second date when it comes, you go there and present. Then you have made it. So guys, thank you so much. I will go to the part 2 of this video and discuss how to make it after, or how to make it during your presentations and moving forward. But for this video, thank you so much for watching, and look out for the next video. We'll be discussing how to actually win.